Earlier this year, I was asked by a consulting client to work with 3 candidates who were up for partner roles. They had been there before but had not made the cut. Now, these are exceptional professionals and people who've done exceedingly well in their functions. My brief was that what was holding them back was their executive presence. Now, we worked together for several weeks, and I'm delighted that 2 are already through to partner level, and the 3rd one is in the pipe, and he's qualified through the first 2 steps of the process. This is not new. In the last 4 years, I've worked on the exact same thing with close to a dozen leaders with similar results. But what is executive presence? There's no easy answer to that question. You're likely to get as many answers as the number of people you ask. But one thing is certain, it is real. People instinctively know you have it in you or you don't to take the next big role, and that has a huge role to play in how far you will go in your career. I'm not going to hazard putting words to it because that's a counterproductive discussion. But you can broadly identify the 2 or 3 big buckets you should look at if you're considering working on your executive presence. At the end of the day, the choice being made is whether you have it in you to deliver in a role with greater responsibility. People who make such decisions must trust you and be sufficiently impressed by you to select you over somebody else. And the people who follow you must feel inspired by you and that you're worthy of their following. Now, honestly, in this case, what they feel matters more than what you feel. It doesn't matter that much what you think of your capabilities and accomplishments. If they don't trust you or believe in the value you bring to a future role, your chances are limited. Remember, you're being considered for a future role. A lot of that depends on demonstrated future potential and less of it on past achievements. You make those choices yourself, don't you, about which leader inspires you and which one does not. It's the same thing the other way around. A lot of leaders transitioning from operational to executive roles say, let my work speak for itself. And that's a fair point. Do keep in mind, though, that the concerned influencers and decision makers may not know your work that well. If you made it this far, it must be of an acceptable standard. In the firm I referred to earlier, a part of the process to make it to partner involves a presentation to a panel. The panel members have not worked with the candidate earlier. Most are not even from the same practice. And the section where the candidate gets to represent his achievements is a small part of just one of the 3 sections in which he's expected to present. Alternately, think about how calibration processes work in organizations and how much of your case can performance data really make for you. Reputation and image matter at the top, and yours will play a role to influence a favorable decision. I mean, how many times have every one of us felt that we didn't get just reward for our work and for the results we produce? People say the company is ungrateful. If it hadn't been for me, this business wouldn't be half of what it is today. But I think we owe it to our stakeholders and to ourselves to look at other reasons that may be responsible. That's because executive decisions are almost always about suitability. Results are part of it, but certainly not the only thing. Most experts define executive presence as a combination of 3 things: gravitas, communications, and appearance. Broadly speaking, gravitas is about how important you are to advancing the overall objectives of the business and how seriously people take you. It is what generates feelings of respect and trust. Don't you know instinctively, for instance, who the top dog in a meeting is? And you know it's not just because of their authority. The other 2 things, communications and appearance, are easier to understand, but I will cover all 3 in this video. Your executive presence matters at all levels, so the sooner you start working on it, the more you increase your chances of success. So what do people look for? Gravitas is the very essence of executive presence. Without it, you simply won't be perceived as a leader, no matter what your title or level of authority, no matter how well you dress or speak. Now, gravitas, according to most leaders, is what signals to the world that you're made of the right stuff and can be entrusted with serious responsibility. It requires you to demonstrate a few characteristics that I will share here. You may be practicing them to some extent already. The idea is to start doing what you're not doing and up the game on what you are doing. Communication is as much about what you say as how you say it. And this you can condition and control. The tone and timbre of your voice, your choice and use of words, your inflection, pronunciation, correctness, articulation, and delivery. And even your body language determine what and how much your listeners take in and what overall impression of you they will form and retain as a result. Other people's perceptions of you are very much yours to shape. Some key communications traits are obviously superior speaking skills which you can practice, ability to lead a room, to be seen as the top dog in that room, being forceful and assertive when required, the ability to, for instance, read people, including a boss, a client, or the mood in a room. It's important to have a sense of humor, lighten things up, the ability to banter, just to start conversations with people you don't know, using positive body language that indicates all of those things, and maintaining a good, strong posture. Over the long haul, the way you look may not be as important as what you say or how you act, but it's incredibly important in the short run. Cracking the appearance code opens doors and puts you in play. A few appearance traits that are well appreciated are being polished and groomed. It's really important to be polished and groomed at all times. Maintaining physical attractiveness, simple and stylish attire that positions you for your next job. Standing tall. Not all of us are physically tall, but it's important to stand tall and be all of yourself. Being energetic, being lively, being enthusiastic. You'll find a lot of these things are not very hard to do. It's simply about being aware of how they impact you. Some may need practice or even a deeper understanding of how they can be done. I will bring those things to you in 6 or 7 videos going forward. The videos organize most of this information in more easily consumable sets. And I hope you will join me again as I post these videos out for you. So thank you very much for your patience in listening in on this video, and I hope to see you next time.